time, mamas. The other one's right there. Look at her. Hi. Woo! I hope we got that.
Welcome to my care video. I hope that you guys learned a lot from this video, especially if you're a no sugar glider owner. I hope that when you get your sugar gliders, you understand that they are not mean. They are just nervous. So, as nervous as you are, they're just as nervous or even more nervous, you know? There's this saying that if you read anything about sugar gliders, it tends to pop up like 1,000 times. And it's kind of like, what if you were king? Like, imagine you're King Kong, and you know, basically the whole King Kong scenario where like we're King Kong and the sugar glider is super scared of us because we're just like this big beastie thing, you know. So the first thing I want to say is have patience with your sugar baby. They might not be as friendly as somebody else you know who just got a sugar glider and their sugar glider is already letting them touch them or climbing on them. Everybody's experience is different. Take things at you guys' pace, and when I say you guys, I mean you and your sugar gliders' pace. Don't rush things, and like I said, just understand that they are not mean. They are just frightened. So moving on, the first thing that I want to say, and I actually want to stress, is if you're getting a sugar glider, or even if you have a sugar glider and you just have one sugar glider, please go get another sugar glider. And if you're buying sugar gliders, buy 2 as a pair, please. Now, the reason that this is so important is because they are colony animals, which a colony animal is used to being with many other of its kind. So even just having 2, like in my opinion, the fact that I have 2, I feel bad because I'm just like, that's not a colony. Like there's 2 of them, they're a pair. But and then me, I guess, because they say, you know, they consider you as part of the pack. So there's like 3 of us, and really I'm not a sugar glider. I don't stay up all night. So please just get 2 sugar gliders or more. Anything above, that's up to you, but 2 is the minimum. So remember that, please. It's very important. 2 sugar gliders. So when you get your sugar glider, there's gonna be a few things that you should already have. You should have picked out a diet that you want. You should have also, sorry, I got like a brain fart. Okay, so you should have picked out the diet. You should have toys for them. You should have a cage. You should have bonding pouches and sleeping pouches. You should have their calcium. And fruits and veggies, you know, you should pick them up the day you get them. Make sure you have that in your fridge for dinner time that night. That's all I could think of like at this second. So those are things that you just want to make sure that you're gonna have. So since we already spoke about the fact that you need 2 sugar gliders, I feel like that's the first thing that I should ever mention. Oh, I'm gonna mention this really quick because you guys can't see it, but I'm looking at my bathroom, and it's super important once you have a sugar glider to just kind of like if you had a baby, to safety lock things. And one of the big things you want to safety lock is the toilet, because there's many incidents that people forget to put down their toilet seat. The sugar glider, you know, escapes at night because they're caged. The sugar gliders are smart, so they open their cage, and that depends on your cage too and how you have it sealed, but that's not what I'm talking about. But yeah, so then they find their sugar gliders dead in the toilet, and I don't know about you, but I would be traumatized, and that's not something that I want to see. So me and my boyfriend make sure that the toilet seat is always down. And of course, you're not always gonna remember that, but try your best to just think, hey, I have sugar gliders now. Don't leave the sink full of water, like where you have your dishes. Don't leave that full of water. Don't leave the bathroom sink full of water, and close the toilet lid, please. We beg you, me and your sugar gliders. So I'm gonna show you guys their cage, and something that I want to point out also is just that when you do get their cage, get them something nice. So I only have 2 sugar gliders, and my cage is a double. which in my opinion is too small. It's not really too small, but I just wish I could give them more than this. But I live in a single bedroom, so this is the best they can get. So the babies are sleeping in here. Right there. Sweet babies. So they have, so like I said, make sure you have some pouches. So there's some pouches. This toy I actually bought, and this is a bird rope. This I got off of Exotic Nutrition, and these also, if it wasn't Exotic Nutrition, it was Chewy. I mentioned that many times. All these toys in here, it's important that you have toys because sugar gliders need stimulation. So all these toys in here, I've made them myself. So I made this. So if you don't have a lot of money and you can't spend money on toys, don't worry about it. You can make some for cheap. So I have this one. I have this one, which I've shown multiple times. This is a pulley toy. I recently made this one, so this is another pulley toy. Okay, I love that one, so cute. They have this that I've made them before. They have a banana pouch. Oh, this is so important. It's so important to have a wheel, whether it's this wheel or they have like cruiser wheels and like other safe wheels. It's super important that not only are you checking whatever wheel you have constantly just to make sure that they're running well and they're not like falling off. Sugar gliders need exercise, so yeah. I'm sorry, this is not a cage tour, but I switched out the cage recently, so. And I have this pit that I have, which reminds me that I have this peacock feather that I'm just gonna throw in there, and that's basically their little just toy pit full of different things: fleece, balls, peacock feathers. So as part of this video, I decided that I was going to film for you guys pretty much what I do when it comes to feeding, since I'm trying to help new Shiggy owners or even other Shiggy owners who might want to change their diet. So as you guys know, I am 100% an Exotic Nutrition user. There are tons of people in the world, especially in the Shiggy world, who would not agree, who would say that I'm killing my sugar gliders and all this crazy stuff. Well, I have reason as to why I use the product, and I've said this before. So far in my experience, my sugar gliders are fine. If you look at the videos, they have great fur. They are very active, and you know, this is literally veterinarian approved, recommended. I'm sorry. But with that being said, let me just get into this. So I wanted to show you guys. So when it comes to food, right, they have 24 hours pellets. Now these are pretty much done. I'm gonna throw them away because they've been in the cage for like 3 or 4 days. So I'm gonna give them fresh ones. This is what they had for dinner last night. So if you could see back there is the insectivore fare, which they get about 3 times a week. They had some sweet potatoes, some oranges, they had apples, and they had carrot. Here's another water source that I have for them. So I have 2 water sources. Here's the bottle. So I do use bottled water for my girls. If you live somewhere where the tap water is not very well, I really honestly suggest that you get tap water, because supposedly there have been incidents of gliders drinking water that was contaminated and, you know, passing away. Where I live, I would say my tap water is really good, but I just give them bottled. So with that being said, I'm just gonna fill up their bowl with some fresh bottle of water. Whoa, oh no, I didn't. Okay, so there's water. Then I'm gonna put water here. So they have 2 sources of water. Fill it up, fill it up, fill it up. There we go. So water's all good. Fresh water. so this is not a diet video, but this is a video all about sugar glider care. And if you are interested in putting your sugar gliders on Exotic Nutrition, I'm just gonna show you guys kind of everything that I use. I'm not gonna go that much into detail. If you guys would like a diet video, just let me know. But I wanted to just show you guys the pellets. So I've showed them before. These are the pellets that I get, the Glider Complete from Exotic Nutrition. And I also have these. These are for baby sugar gliders. My sugar gliders are young. I actually only have this because when I went to the pet store, they recommended me to get this for now. So I'm just using it until it's finished. So this is what I do. And I do this about, it kind of just depends. So I put 1 tablespoon, which this has treats in it, so the girls like this. And I try not to put like excessive amount of treat though when I'm scooping it out, because sometimes like the scoop will be full of treats and you don't want that. Then I take this baby kibble and I pour that, and then I get back with this Glider Complete. I put that in there. And okay, so usually I put about 4 tablespoons. I'm actually gonna put just a tiny bit extra this time because I usually use a bigger spoon. Today I'm using this small spoon. I'm picking out the treats, and I'm gonna put the treats that I want. So I just added a little bit more, and let me just grab another treat. So this is what it looks like. And they really like this. And this is something that's, the kibble stays in their cage 24 hours a day, every day. So if I'm home late for some reason or anything like that, they always help. So today I actually have to make the girls instant HPW. So I figured that I'd just film it for you guys. Again, Exotic Nutrition. Something I really love about this is the fact that it's instant. All those other diets like Critter Love and TPG and just every other diet, I don't think they have instant. I mean, if they do, cool, but like I don't want to knock any brand. I mean, people knock Exotic Nutrition all the time, but that's on them. I don't like to knock things. So instant HPW, I really like this, and I'm just gonna show you guys how easy it is to make. So it's 1 part of instant HPW with 1.5 parts of water. So I have my bottled water here. Let's get, so I'm just gonna put 1 cup of mix into my 1 cup measurement here. So all right, thank God I have this paper here. I'm kind of like, I don't like, when I cook and anything, I really don't like my hands and stuff being messy. It like freaks me out, grosses me out. So here I have my 1 cup of the mix. I want you guys to see the mix. It has crickets inside, so I like that. Like mini, tiny little crickets. So now I put that in a bowl, and I'm just gonna take my water, and I'm gonna put 1 cup of water. Ooh. And a half, because it's 1.5 of the water. So now it looks like this. Take the spoon and let's get mixing. So after a few minutes, we get this like thicker consistency, right? So let me show you. Okay, so that's the consistency we get. And so what I do, because this is a lot of HPW, this is at least 2 weeks worth, I just kind of take a bottle and I'll start filling it. So let's just do that. And this is a great way to store it, to prep it if you're going on vacation or just anything like that. Okay. And here we go. I'm just pouring my mix in here. How the food is. This is how their food looks. This would usually be the fruits and veggies, pellets, water. Like I said, check that. Something else that I want you guys to know is that calcium is extremely important. If you have other animals, they might also require calcium, but you know, just get the calcium that's recommended for sugar gliders. I wouldn't play around and give them like I have a chameleon. I wouldn't give them my chameleon calcium, you know, because I'm sure that there's probably different ingredients in them. So that's not what we want to do. So I'll just show you really quick. Let me grab it for you. So again, Exotic Nutrition, and this is some calcium, and I put this, so the pellets that they have, it's complete, so there is calcium in those pellets, but when I give them their fresh fruit and veggies at night, I do just take a little pinch and sprinkle it on top, and that's it, because it's super hot, so I had to put my hair up. But every sugar glider has a different personality. So it might take you 1 week to bond with your sugar glider, or it might take you 1 year. So please don't get discouraged. Just try different things. So there's different types of bonding methods, and I'm just gonna tell you guys a few. So you could either start with their bonding pouch. That's how most people start. They give it like 3 days. They don't touch them. They let them adjust to their cage, their environment, and then they take them out and they start putting them in their bonding pouch. And that's what a lot of people do, which is great. So you can try that, or you can try something that's called tent time. So you're just gonna like, most of the tents that I see people get are from Amazon. So just look on Amazon, find a tent that is big enough for you, and maybe something that has like the mesh sides would be good, because they have to be able to climb it. So that's another way. So you do tent time. You know, most people will do it at night when their gliders are waking up. They get in the tent and they just have some treats. They sit there, and eventually the glider will be jumping off of you and all over you and all this great stuff. You can do like I do free roam. That has been the method that I've always done since I've had the girls, and it's worked really well for me. I haven't had my sugar glider for very long, and I'm sure, as you can see in the videos, we are pretty bonded. We're not 100% bonded, but we're pretty bonded, and I love it. So that's another way. Feeding them treats is definitely a way to help with the bonding process, just in general. Just some treats that my girls tend to really love are yoga drops, hornworms, and dubia roaches. So kind of any type of insects they really like, but I don't recommend you feed them that much. I recommend that you feed them as a treat. Some people, in some people's diet videos, you will see that they're feeding them worms every day, all day. Well, here's why I don't. Meat and insects are part of the reason why your sugar glider might stink. So if you're feeding your sugar glider meat every day and insects every day, and you're like, oh my god, they stink, why do they stink? Well, they stink because they have too much protein. I've seen it on veterinarian videos, I've seen it everywhere. Meat and insects, they influence the glider smell to a more musky smell. My gliders I don't have a smell problem with the girls. Something else I just want to say, side note, something else that might be a reason why your sugar glider is a little smelly is just if you got two males are a little more smelly than girls. That doesn't mean that they're gonna be like very stinky and you shouldn't get them because they're super stinky. It just means that they do have a little bit more of a smell than girls. They're a little bit more musky. They have like their scent gland, and they tend to like dominate things, do territorial stuff more than female sugar gliders would. So when it comes to smell, people are often like, I don't want to get a sugar glider because I don't want my house to stink. You know, they stink. I'm going to be honest. They don't stink. Now, I'm going to be honest. They do smell musky. But here's the difference. I just smell once in a blue, there's a little bit of a musky smell that I smell. But most of the time, there is no smell that I'm smelling. Now, I tend to keep my cage really pretty clean. I do a daily cleaning, and it's not like a big cleaning. It's just like a wipe. I do like a little wipe. I take out the pad at the bottom, fresh food, fresh water. And for me, I've had no problems. I have no smell problems, which that's gonna bring me to my next point, which is gonna be that people often ask, are sugar gliders messy? Sugar gliders are messy because when they eat, they tend to like throw it or like spit it out their mouth. So the pebbles kind of go everywhere, the kibble goes everywhere, the food, sometimes you find like grape, like the orange peels or the apple peels or the grapes at the bottom. But if you're really like, if you don't have time and you don't want to have to deal with that, I would recommend you can buy a glider kitchen or make a glider kitchen, and it kind of keeps the mess inside of the little kitchen area and it makes it easier for you to clean. My cage doesn't get that dirty either with the feeding, because if you see, I have the platform directly under the food, so when they eat, they sit on the platform and they eat, and the food just kind of goes all on the platform, and the next day I just take a wet napkin, or when I have like my cleaning wipes from Exotic Nutrition, I take those, I just, you know, scrub it down, wrap it up, throw it away. There you go. I don't have a problem with a mess. I wouldn't say they're the messiest animal in the world, but I wouldn't say they're the cleanest animal in the world. Here's another thing. If your sugar gliders smell, it could be because of the diet that you are using. So if you're not using a very popular diet, or if you're just feeding them, I don't know, sometimes I hear weird stories of people who just fed them like noodles, or they only fed them, somebody recently said they got gliders and they were only being fed Vienna sausages, which in my opinion, those are owners who didn't do research, and all that stuff is going to contribute to a stinky glider. They have to have a proper diet. So diet contributes to smell. It's very large impact of smell. So if your sugar gliders stink, you should think very hard about what you've been feeding them, what you've been doing, how you're taking care of them. If you are over cleaning the cage, which I think that's why I really don't have a problem either, because when I clean my cage, like I said, I kind of just will either use the wipes from Exotic Nutrition that don't really have a scent, or I'll use just water and a wet napkin, or I'll put a very small amount of Dawn dish soap, but where you can barely smell it, so that the gliders are not smelling like a fresh clean smell. I just know it's clean, like I could wipe off, you see the pee and all that. And yeah, so don't over clean either, because if you over clean, especially if you have male gliders, they're gonna like over scent, and it's not gonna be good. It's gonna be stinky. Take into consideration that you're gonna have to be clipping their nails. So as you can see, this is not even open. I have this for when I have the courage to actually trim their nails, which won't be anytime soon. I just take them to the pet store where I got them and they trim them. So I have this for when I'm ready, but I'm not ready yet because I just don't feel comfortable like grabbing their arms and their pretty baby. Hi. Hi, pretty. Whoa, you missed. Look, she don't like the nail watch. Girl's butt. Okay, she's excited. Look at her tail. I'll see. So I really wanted to try and just cover all the points about sugar gliders. So the basic things that most people know, but you may not know, is to start off, sugar gliders are marsupial animals. They are more related to the kangaroo and the koala family. They have pouches, which is why we replicate that when we take them in and we put them in our bonding pouches. That is to replicate life in the wild, or just generally how they're being born, because they stay in the pouch. Sugar gliders are also nocturnal animals. So your sugar glider is going to be awake all night, making noise. They do have sounds, so they do crab, they chirp, they purr, they crab, they hiss. I think I covered, did I say they bark? Because they bark like little chihuahuas. So they make sounds. They sing when they have babies. I think that's pretty much most of their sounds that you're gonna hear. Oh, and when the female's in heat, it's like a mix between a hiss and like a bark. Like it's gonna be like a bark and then a hiss after, like something similar to that, and that's when they're in heat. So that's something else I wanted to say to you guys. As I stated already, they should be kept in pairs or larger. Diet, make sure that it's a staple diet. Like don't switch their diet every week or something crazy like that. Like stick with it. They like it, good. If they end up for some reason not liking it, try to maybe switch something out. If not, maybe it's time to find a new diet. So when you get your sugar gliders, it's best that you get your pair to be either 2 female or 2 male. It is not recommended that you get 1 and 1 for several reasons. One reason being that they say that sometimes they will bond to each other and will not want to bond with you. Secondly, because if your male is unneutered, it's super important that you neuter your males. So if you're buying them and they're not neutered yet, you should think about that. That's going to be the next cost that you're going to have to get, because it does bring down their aggression. And if you have any female gliders, you don't want them to get pregnant. So when picking your sugar gliders, it is best to get 2 of the same sex. If you for some reason end up breeding, something that you should know, like if by accident your sugar glider ends up pregnant, you need to be really careful, especially if you got the sugar gliders together, because they could be siblings and the baby could come out deformed. They could eat the baby. It could just be really a traumatic experience. So it is not recommended that you go out and you try to breed by yourself, or because then you need to know their lineage and a little bit of more additional stuff. But that is also part of the reason why you don't want to buy 1 male and 1 female, and then the males are neutered, and then you haven't been able to neuter them, and then one day your girl is pregnant and they were brother and sister, and it's a catastrophe.
Aussie and Gia. Aussie and Gigi. Baby girls. Mamash. I see somebody. Oh. Think somebody's going to sleep now. Open them. Bedtime. Say good night. Good night, YouTube. Thanks for watching.